Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John, that's my cohort and commentary Ashton, and this is our Friday night Smackdown review. And I gotta say, guys, compared to last week, I loved the energy of tonight's show. See, whereas last week felt like maybe a 3-4 person show, just like a handful of people, it really felt like every division kind of shined tonight. The women did great because, somebody may finally be getting a push. I'm not going to be, hyperbolic about that or put the cart before the horse. Happy to see that a certain woman got a win tonight. We'll get to that. Bayley fucking shined and again had segment of the night on TV, and that's not easy to do when you're sharing the screen with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, because they've been having a terrific storyline. They shined again tonight. The mid-card continues to look promising, if not a bit repetitive, admittedly. We're getting some forward momentum with Corbin and Nakamura. Really, my only complaint that I will stand by, I hate the Universal title contender. We will get to that. But I think on the whole, dude, this SmackDown was a major step up from last week. How did you feel about it?
I really enjoyed this show. It really flew by for me. There was very, very little on the show that annoyed or angered me. I would say this is the best episode of wrestling television that we've gotten pretty much this week for sure, maybe this month. I don't know. I guess it's been a short month, but at least I would say in a while, I feel like.
Yeah. So let's get right to it. I feel like we got a good rhythm going. Heat of the night. I'm just going to be very quick. The ending segment was hilarious. I like that we have a general consensus, in the chat and everything else. Roman was impeccable for his part. Ray just doesn't do it for me. His promo tonight, I was so bored. And, he was like, oh, you rat bastard. That was supposed to, elicit a gasp for me. It elicited an eye roll. I pretty much had the same reaction Roman had. If you notice Roman's face...
Roman's reaction there was, that was the beginning of the giggle fit for me. That was fucking hilarious.
Roman really just be looking like, are we really doing this, Ray?
Roman just gave Rey Mysterio the same look that I give mini-bosses in video games.
Exactly, do I really gotta do this shit again? When are you guys gonna learn? And, again, I want to be very clear about, my nitpick or just my complaint in general. It's not with the segment, because I actually thought the segment overall was a fine piece of TV. It's just Ray as the babyface. Big E would have eaten that fucking promo if he was on the mic. Kevin Owens, even though we've already done that view to death, I'm not saying we should revisit it unless we have a good mechanism like Money in the Bank say. Kevin Owens would have been great on the mic. Ray, I feel like they coast on Ray's name, which isn't always a bad thing to do. If you want to just give a quick, little mini win on a pay-per-view, which is what they're doing here, that's precisely what this is. But, I don't need to hear him talk, and I don't need to hear him preach. Because honestly, I'm just shut up. You're not entertaining. You're not believable to me. And that's why, though, this segment was so good, because Roman had the same energy, and he fucking handled it. And I loved it. So that was great. Do you have anything you want to air out here in this first segment? Because I feel like this is going to be a pretty positive review overall. I just get that sense. But if you have anything you want to complain about,
I don't think I do, no. When they started to first do the whole Carmella being the most beautiful woman in all of WWE thing, I wasn't a fan, but then she kind of begged Michael Cole to call her that, and I was like, oh, I get it now. It took me a minute to get the gimmick, but now that I do, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I'm okay with it, because let's be real, what else is Carmella going to do? After she lost Reginald, I was even saying, Carmella, I think she's better than a lot of people give her credit for, and I think you and I have been very fair in our assessment of her, but at the same time, I think she's right in the middle where, she's not a Bayley where you could give her anything and she can knock it out of the park. I just don't see that in her. So you've got to be very particular in what you give her, and I think this falls in line perfectly. Because to me, it just comes off as she's almost like a proud diva or diva-esque in an age where they're all about the empowerment and let's go out and have great matches. And Carmella's well, yeah, I can do that, but I'm also the most beautiful while doing it. So it's a good fit, I think. So with that said, let us get right into our Friday night SmackDown review. And we've got Roman and Jay backstage. And Roman again is just running by with Jimmy, running by with Jay, you gotta rein your brother in. It's about our family. You guys are embarrassing our family. Like, I saved you guys last week because you were about to lose. That doesn't happen in our family. And again, putting it on Jay's shoulders. You got to sort this out. Jimmy's music hits. And he actually hits the ring. And Roman, again, looks a bit disgusted, a little bit like, why is he doing this? That's my place, going in the ring and preaching the gospel, stuff like that. Nah, Jimmy just goes in there. He does business. More or less says, Roman, I think you wanted us to lose. I think you made it about you last week when you got involved in our match, because he goes through the whole process, how they got screwed the first time. Clearly my shoulder was up, but it's okay because we got the rematch. And then Roman had to stick his nose in our business. And he said, I think it's because you're jealous of me. You're jealous because, Jay wants to ride with me. You don't have Jay all to yourself anymore. You're not monopolizing his time or his energy. And I'm my brother's keeper, not you. And he said, tonight I'm going to do something I ain't going to regret. So I almost feel like the tone of this show, I will say this, the tone of this show really seemed to indicate to me like they may finally come to blows tonight. Because I think Roman's reached his breaking point where it's like, it's not my cousin, it's not my brother, it's not my twin. People don't confuse me with him. You better handle this, like after Jimmy's promo. And it really seemed like, okay, everything's coming to a head. Now it's all going to go down. So how'd you feel about this for the opener? Just like all the talking and everything.
It was really well done. I enjoyed it. It was good. Jimmy bringing that babyface fire is always cool to see. Him bringing that passion is awesome. And I am loving the story that's going on here, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think it's had great energy. I think
I literally walked into the house. Like, I intentionally left my TV on when I left, knowing that I would want to be able to see what's going on as soon as I got back in. And when I got into the house, Jimmy was making his entrance. So I missed literally nothing on this show. I'm so proud of myself.
I'm proud of you too, man. And the Bloodline's proud of you too. You got to acknowledge your tribal chief. Yeah. So after Jimmy talks his shit, right after that, I mean, this show again was very Bloodline dominated. And see, I realized though that it's okay for a faction or an entity to dominate the show so long as they can carry it on their shoulders. You just got to carry it every time. And I feel like they have, because you got Jimmy and Jay backstage. Jimmy's trying to get Jay to admit, like, hey, you were upset too, weren't you? You were angry at Roman too, weren't you, getting involved in our match and this and that? Because Jimmy's like, Jay's been beaten down, he's been manipulated, all that. I know he doesn't feel the way he's like projecting that he feels for Roman's sake. And then Jay, he kind of blows up. I love the face that Jay made here when Jimmy was going off, because he was kind of rubbing his temples. Like, I always joke about rubbing my temples counterclockwise when something really pisses me off or whatever. He looked, dude, like he was coming undone in real time. Like, I was like, oh my God, Jay is going to snap under the mental stress.
Dude, that's such a difficult position to be in, because he tried to step to Roman back in like September and October, and he got his ass handed to him, and really he didn't actually, but that's how he remembers it, and that's how we're supposed to remember it, is that he got his ass beat by Roman. He lost to Roman 2 big pay-per-view title matches in a row, even though he didn't actually really lose. It was more of cheating from Roman, but again, we're not supposed to remember that part. And he, in character, he doesn't really remember that part either. All he remembers is getting his ass beat. And Roman just beat him into submission and made him understand. And then there was the whole, like, ultimatum of, like, if you keep coming at me, I'm going to cut you off out of the family. And you're not going to, you're not going to be a member of this family anymore. And what's that going to do for you and your wife and your kids and all that stuff? And that was Jay's breaking point. And now Jimmy's back and he's shaking the boat, and Jay is literally just like caught between a rock and a hard place here. He just doesn't know what to do. It's a really tough position to be in.
And he even explodes at Jimmy, like, what do you want me to do? You were gone for a year, and Roman was here.
Yep.
And
not only was he gone for a year, but he only decided to show up the 2 times that Jay was in a title match that Roman could use Jimmy's state that he was in with the busted up leg against Jay.
Exactly. So, like, when you look at it from that perspective, it's really not hard to empathize with Jay's position at all. I know everybody's had a different opinion, like, oh, Jay's a bitch.
I'm surprised that WWE hasn't acknowledged that. Like, I know that WWE tends not to really acknowledge further packed than like a month most of the time. But I really wish that they would acknowledge that Jimmy is the reason that Jay lost those 2 matches to Roman. Like, arguably the first time, Jimmy maybe wasn't the reason, but he was the one that threw in the towel. And, like, maybe Jay felt like he could have kept going, he could have kept fighting, but Jimmy stepped in and threw in the towel. And we've also got to remember that was the first match that we saw Roman do the kick out low blow. And then the second match was the Hell in a Cell match, and Jimmy straight up cost Jay that match.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, they haven't acknowledged this yet, but Jimmy is the reason that Jey Uso got to be Roman's servant, basically, to begin with.
I mean, if I'm Jay, bro, on some real shit, I would have screamed at Jimmy, like, hey, I'm the reason you were even able to come back at all, and you only had to stay out a year, because if Roman had kept that guillotine on you, who knows where you'd be right now. And again, like, it's very easy when you look at it from that perspective to empathize with Jey Uso, and I only say that because you've got some people that think, oh, Jay is a bitch, you should just stand up to Roman. Other people, have another line of thought. I'm just sitting here thinking, like, the dude has been mentally abused to such a degree, like, he's destroyed. It's like anybody that's a fan of Game of Thrones before it all went to shit, it's like Theon fucking Greyjoy being, like, fucking abused until he becomes Reek. Jey Uso got abused until he became the right-hand man, and now some people would say that was an upgrade because he was main eventing and he won the armbar and this and that, but he lost a piece of himself to do all of that Roman forcefully took from him. And now Jimmy's coming in thinking like, oh, it's easy, man, just, do whatever. And I almost feel like, I know WWE doesn't mean it this way, and this is just because I got spoiled by shows that tell in-depth personal stories like Lucha Underground, but it's almost like those friends that just kind of shake their head at other friends going back to abusers, whether it's like partners or whatever. And it's like, oh, why do you stay? Just leave, just up and leave. But it's never that simple. It's never that easy. And Jimmy's acting like it's a lot easier than it actually is. So all of my sympathy is with Jay in this storyline. Absolutely. Like, the dude's looking like he's coming undone. Jimmy's asking a lot of him. And Jimmy, in a way, I don't know. He almost seems like he has his own sense of entitlement about it to me at times. Because, it's like, oh, that's my brother and this and that. And then Roman, of course, we already know. Like, we've talked at length about Roman's heel character. So, yeah, it's, I just feel for Jay, man. But we'll have to see where that goes. We definitely got some further developments tonight, but we'll get to that.
It's funny you brought up Game of Thrones because I feel like this family dynamic has more, like, better writing than some Game of Thrones seasons had.
Yeah, I certainly agree with you there. You're not gonna get a peep out of me about that. We get Big E and KO versus Zayn and Cruz. I mean, again, these are 4 talented dudes. It's a shame that Big E's just going to come back, and obviously we're not going to acknowledge why he was even gone or this and that because Aleister Black is no longer with the company. And
Are you seeing any reports that the WWE wants to bring Aleister back?
I've seen those, but I've kind of stayed mum about them because I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it if I see Aleister on a TV again.
Nope.
And if not, he'll just be another guy to go to AEW because when he listed the guys that he all wanted to face, I feel like 90 to 95% of them were on AEW. If not 100%. So I feel like they got him locked up, and I just kind of throw my hands up, and I'm like, okay. But we'll see what happens. I was really looking forward to see Big E kind of get out of the Intercontinental Circle Jerk, because I feel like him and Aleister, even if I wasn't necessarily vibing with the Aleister character 100%, and again, we've had big discussions about that, so I'm not going to, recourse there. I think the two of them as performers would have done some solid matches together, but now Big E's part of this Intercontinental Circle Jerk. And ultimately, him and KO do win the match. KO gets the pin on Sammy after the stunner. Like, it's funny to me because I like all 4 of these guys. I do. I even still like Apollo, and you know that, because I do think he's really putting his back into this heel gimmick, and he's solid as fuck in the ring. I just don't know if WWE knows what they want to do. Because I feel like at this point we should have gotten a match between Sammy and Kevin announced for Hell in a Cell. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with y'all, and I don't know how the chat feels. I'd love to know how you guys feel. I feel like Kevin and Sammy is worthier of a Hell in a Cell step, even with what just they've done in the context of this feud from WrestleMania onward, than Ray Roman. Like, when I heard that Ray actually wanted Roman inside Hell in a Cell, I'm like, come on, man. Really? Like, I don't feel it. But I feel it with this. Because Sammy is fucking unhinged at this point, and KO has gone from that friend that really wanted to help him to like, okay, you being unhinged is a threat to me now, and you're really making it personal, so if you want to go there, let's fucking go there then. And let's just do it. Like, I don't know. I feel like we should have gotten that by now. We're not. Maybe we'll get it next week, which would be the go home show because Hell in a Cell is the 20th.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yeah, because we've got Takeover this weekend and then Hell in a Cell's next weekend. Exactly.
Yeah, guys, be sure to tune in tomorrow at 9 p.m. for our Takeover Inner-House preview predictions. Speaking of that. And I just feel like we're going to run back again, Big E and Apollo. And, like, I don't want to be mad, again, because these guys are both really good, and I've enjoyed their series of matches. But it's like, I've already said, I feel like you're doing a disservice to Apollo by not giving him an actual meaty program with somebody else. And then you're doing a disservice to Big E because, I mean, if I'm just being blunt, it's Big fucking E. Like, I feel like he should be primed for that main event run. So I'm not really feeling that either. So again, babyfaces win. Apollo, I do like that Apollo just throws Sammy under the bus. He's like, I was paired with an idiot.
Yeah, I was going to say, this match was pretty fun, and I liked the match that they set up at the end after the match was over.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like it too, dude, because you and I have complained before, like in past eras in WWE and certainly in other wrestling companies, just because you switch alignments doesn't mean that you become buddy-buddy with the guy that maybe you were shoving a shard of glass in their forehead only a few months ago. Like, you know, Apollo's not friends with Sammy. Sammy covets his Intercontinental title. Why the fuck would they be friends? Why the fuck would they be on the same page? And I like how Sammy responded, because he said, oh, you know, you're working with Kevin Owens. Again, he's like not even making any sense anymore, and I love that Sammy, he's done such an accurate, wonderful portrayal of like that online radicalism of when you go down that conspiracy rabbit hole, just how deep it goes, because now he's actually saying, and he actually said this in a promo, Apollo Crews, you were working with Kevin Owens. Like, you couldn't get any more ridiculous, but that's what makes it so perfect. And then Aziz hits him with a Nigerian nail. And just, I really like all these guys. I really do. I just feel like there's no forward momentum for any of them. And it's a disservice to all four involved. But good tag match, and I had a lot of fun with it. Do you have anything you want to add?
I sure don't.
All right. I think I'll give you the ball on this next thing. What do we got here? Oh, well, we just got Ray and Pierce backstage. Ray making his case. That's pointless. Street Profits and Gable, how'd you feel about this?
Oh, this was fun, yeah. I really like Gable going up to them and being like, I did you guys a favor, I got our match canceled. Like, that's heel shit right there. That's heel 101 right there. And then, you know, the whole idea that he basically is calling Otis off of them, but then they keep arguing with him, and he's just like, you know what? I'm going to get our match back on, but it's going to be a singles match. Which one of you jokers wants to fight me tonight? And then, I honestly, I would have preferred Dawkins, but what we got was still really, really fun. But yeah, Dawkins steps up, and Montez is just like, no, I got this. And then Gable is just like, all right, cool, but how about we add a little spice to it? I'm going to make sure Otis doesn't come to ringside as long as Dawkins doesn't come to ringside either. So that gets set up for later on in the night.
Yeah. And he reminds them, oh, and Otis is still pretty mad. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was great, too.
So then after this, we get Roman and Jay backstage again. Roman's like, you know, where is he? Meaning Jimmy. And Jay's just like, he's doing his own thing. He's doing whatever. He said, if you want to see him, come to our locker room. Because that's the thing that Jimmy said to Jay. When Jay's like, what do you want me to do? And he's like, Roman wants to confront me. Tell him I'll be in our locker room. So, again, like, there's a we with us. There's only a Roman with Roman. He doesn't even, he doesn't acknowledge you the way he wants everybody else to acknowledge him. And I love, like, man, I had so much fun with these segments in particular because Roman is in his fucking bag. Like, he is in a groove with this gimmick. He is untouchable. He laughs about it. I got such, oh, god damn, Uncle Phil vibes with the whole, I don't know if you've ever seen the clip where it's like, we, and he's kind of laughing at Will as he walks up because I guess Will lost money or something. It's like, Uncle Phil, we got to do something about this. We, and he just keeps laughing about it as he leaves him. Roman had the same energy. Our locker room. Our locker room. And he makes fun of the whole thing, like, repeatedly, which I think it's great because it projects that image of confidence, but I think you can tell underneath that eats Roman a little bit. Like, how dare this guy pull rank with me? How dare this guy throw that in my face when I'm the Universal Champion? So Roman's like, all right, whatever. And again, he's kind of laughing and smiling, and I love the quiet talking. I love his promo style. It's so good. And he's like, yeah, sure, fine. I'll see him. And that happens, later in the night, and we'll get to that. But do you have anything you want to add to this?
I don't.
All right. I will let you take the ball on this one because we got Carmella in a rematch against our girl Liv Morgan. How'd you feel about this matchup?
This was fun. Like I said, the whole most beautiful woman in all of WWE thing threw me off at first. I was like, what the hell's going on here? This is really weird. Is Vince trying to like piss Corey Graves off or something? I don't know. I genuinely was just confused. But then like they went to the outside and Carmella went up to Michael Cole and said, Michael Cole, tell everyone how I'm the most beautiful woman in WWE. And then like even later on with Greg, after Liv actually won a goddamn match, which made me pretty happy, Carmella made sure that Greg let it be known that Carmella was still the most beautiful woman in all of WWE. So I actually think this shtick is kind of funny because, you know, it's like she's insecure. It's like Graves is gone now. He's not on SmackDown anymore. Reginald left her for multiple other women. At first it was Sasha, now it's Nia. And maybe she's just having a bit of a confidence crisis, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a natural progression for a character. I think you put that quite beautifully. I gotta tell you guys, I know everybody has their picks, but given the latest slew of releases, in one way it dampens my hype for Money in the Bank, and another way it kind of ups it. Because I'll tell you, if you really wanted to surprise us, and I mean pleasantly surprise us, Liv with that briefcase wouldn't be a bad pairing. I'll be very interested to see if she qualifies for the women's and how seriously they're going to take this push. I just want to get in front of it and say I highly doubt that they'll commit, but I'm looking forward to Money in the Bank preview and predictions when we get a full set for both men and women's, and where you and I are kind of sitting with these matches, because I'm hoping that's what they're kind of building it, Liv up for. If not to win it, to certainly be a contender for it, to be a participant in it, because she needs to start showing out, and I think she is when she's given the time. What I really should say is I want her to get even more opportunities, more consistent opportunities to show out and really become a highlight of this division. So, happy for her to get the win. I will say, too, I like her finish. The setup seemed a bit slow because it's like she got Carmella trapped in the ropes and it took her a few seconds to hit it. I'd like something a bit more instantaneous, you know, just to keep the believability factor. But it could have just been, you know, a miscue or whatever, it happens. So we'll see.
I personally really liked the her take on the recoil, basically, that she used to do in her tag team matches with Ruby.
Yeah, that was great. That was great.
I could buy that. I could definitely buy that as her finisher if she wanted to use it.
And then, brother, we got what I think you and I both agreed was segment of the night.
I thought the main event was the segment of the night.
Oh, okay, yeah, well, because, you know, we saw Dominic get yeeted, but I mean, this is definitely like a lock for second then. And honestly, personally...
Oh, ding dong hello, yes.
Yeah, just because I don't give a fuck about Ray, this is still my segment of the night. This was great, but I want you to talk about this first, because I really want to know your full thoughts on this.
Yeah. This was great. And dude, the thing is, this was great from beginning to end, because Bayley showing up immediately got a smile on my face. Then Seth, dude, did you catch what they called Seth before the commercial that they took before this segment happened?
Not Drip God, because I know Bayley.
No, close, but not quite Drip God. No, it's way funnier.
What'd they call him?
They called this dude the Visionary of Drip.
Oh my god.
That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard, and I love it. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's perfect for him though.
And then he comes out wearing this fucking multicolored pink, purple, blue blazer. And he and Bayley have a shockingly perfect dynamic with each other, because she has her obnoxious fake laugh, he has his heel cackle, and they both just do that together, laughing at Bayley laughing at Bianca last week.
Yeah, this segment really kind of showed me what happens if, like, douchebags run the world. And given that I have a track record on this show for saying that I fucking love douchebags, I'm happy to say that on TWitWoW 703, I was right. This was perfection. This was, I'm like, this is why we should let quintessential douchebags like Bayley and Seth Rollins just have the mic and have the airtime every single week. I loved how they were feeding off of each other. I loved how they were enabling each other.
Yeah.
It was so gross in the best way. Like, hey, let's laugh at each other's opposition together. And they did. And like, damn, man. And I love that Seth used the door too. He actually entered the show properly. That was great. And they pretty much do a great job catching the audience up to speed on each other's feuds. And then the segment pivots and gets even better. Because there's a knock on the door. And they're thinking like, oh, Seth, you got me a gift. No, you got me a gift. And like, you know, they're like, okay, hey, this is your show. You've done so much for me already. Let me get the door. Dude, I fucking love this. Because Seth
Did you expect it to be Cesaro?
I 100% did, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
I'm glad that was as obvious to everyone, because I said it's going to be Cesaro, and my mom was like, do you think? Like, she wasn't 100% sure, but yeah, it was... I feel like it was pretty clear. But yeah, it ends up being Cesaro. Poor Bayley, man. Cesaro breaks her door. I mean, at least he used the door. I feel like that's becoming more of a norm on Ding Dong Hello, which is nice. It's a good change, but... yeah, Cesaro ended up breaking her door while he was beating the fuck out of Seth. He broke Seth, and then in the process of doing so, he also broke the door.
Bro, I gotta say, man, this is why, like, if you could just get Cesaro down to sound bites, which I think they've started to do, you know, with, like, swing is in the air, take a swing, all that stuff, dude looked like a fucking star here. Because they open the door, the camera doesn't pan to Cesaro right away, but it like, you could see Seth's face. Like, that of surprise, like, oh, shit. And then it goes to Cesaro, decked out in a suit. And, like, that's always going to be my favorite era of Cesaro, was when he had the rippable suit entrance. Like, I'm sorry, that Jason Statham shit was fucking, like, it was on point. And the idea that he didn't even get to challenge for the world title in that era is a fucking joke. But I digress. He pops Seth in the mouth just immediately. I love it. I love that it's just instantaneous. And like you said, he beat the shit out of him, dude. He threw him through the door. He tore up the set. And I adore Bayley. I even tweeted, look, I ain't gonna lie, folks, we're always very candid with each other on this show. The Bayley's talk show get up, she is fucking beautiful. God damn. I was into it. She was deflated. So I went from like, man, Bayley, she's a perfect looking talk show host, to like, oh, Bayley, I know you don't do hugs anymore, but can I hug you? Because she just looks so sad. She's like, dude, you ruined my set. So I was like, yeah, that sounds like a you problem. So like, the douchiness all around was just perfection. I give it 5 out of 5 douchebags personally. Then after Cesaro stands tall, having humiliated Seth, stripped him down. So I'm not looking like a drip god to me right now. Bianca's music hits. Now here I'm thinking Bianca's going to run down and she's going to lay into Bayley. She just laughs at her. And you know what? I thought that was nice. It was restrained.
Dude, that was perfect. I loved it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I feel like going in, hitting a KOD or whatever after Bayley's already been humiliated, like, it would have been fine. I wouldn't have critiqued it. And
this
I would have been like,
so much more apropos for sure.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. Because then Bayley's just left with her mess, and now Bianca's laughed at her. And, like, this is amazing. I am so proud of all 4 people. Because all 4 people in their own way, like, really stepped it up. Seth and Bayley, their chemistry was perfect. Cesaro, again, to me, looked like a freaking star. And Bianca, just for her part, perfect. Perfect. This segment was amazing. I love this. And again, it's appropriate that I love this because I can tell you guys right now, I'm a bit underwhelmed by the Hell in a Cell card, and I'm thinking like Bayley, Bianca, and I'm guessing next week we're gonna get Seth and Cesaro confirmed. By the way, another matchup far more worthy to me of the Hell in a Cell stiff than Ray and Roman. I'm really.
Are we really only going to do that one Hell in a Cell match this year? That seems so weird to me.
Well, Raw's got one, remember, with Lashley and Drew. So.
Oh, I forgot. Honestly, dude, it's not even a forget. I genuinely did not know that was in the cell.
And see, that's what disappoints me, dude, because I'm thinking if each brand only gets one, like, you're really going to give the SmackDown one to Ray Roman. Like, in a way, I get it, right, because it's Roman, but, like, Ray's the opposition. Where, like, Cesaro and Seth, I feel like, was screaming for that step. I think Mark's right, ultimately. I wouldn't be surprised if we got 3. And Cesaro, Seth rounds it out. Because that one of the 3 is the worthiest to me by far of the step, in just my opinion. Again, I'm curious what you guys think. But yeah, this segment was fantastic.
I appreciate the hope that we'll get 3, but realistically, I don't think there's any precedent for there being 3 Hell in a Cell matches on a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. So that's just one of those I'll believe it when I see it things, I think.
I mean, to be fair, Ashton, and you and I usually, like, we do this, and I'm not even going to, like, tell you, like, have you tell me that, like, it counts or whatever. There was that one year, I don't know how many years ago, but, like, there were 3, because it was Roman, Rusev, Sasha, Charlotte, and I think Rollins, KO. All 3 were Hell in a Cell matches.
Oh.
I don't even know what year that was. And Mark's saying last Hell in a Cell there were 3. I didn't know there were 3 Hell in a Cell matches last year, too. Were there?
I know there was Bayley versus Sasha.
And there was Jay versus Roman. Was there any other one?
Probably something Drew related that we forgot.
Maybe it was the Randy Orton match with Drew? But wasn't that an ambulance match, though, I thought? No, yeah, it was a Hell in a Cell.
It was, wow.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, there is a precedent for 3.
Okay.
I named it. Yeah, I named it.
But again, though, those were also all for championships. That
is true. So we'll see. But I mean, there is a precedent for 3, but then you have the counter with, well, there were championships. So we will have to see how it goes. But beyond that, let's get to our next segment. We get Rey Mysterio being interviewed. Jesus Christ. Dom's in a lot of pain. I should have protected him as the father. I brought him into the world. Roman, I'm going to show you what a family's supposed to look like. Blah, 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 blah. Shut up. All right. After that, we get Ford versus Gable. I love this, dude. What a fun mid-card match this was. Did you have fun with this?
What are we talking about here?
Ford versus Gable, one-on-one.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, dude, like I said earlier, I would have, like, on paper, I would have preferred Dawkins versus Gable, but what we got here was still great.
Yeah, I'm guessing you were like me, where Dawkins versus Gable intrigued you because they both have the wrestling background, right?
Yeah, exactly. I would have loved some of the grappling in that, but this was still a lot of fun.
Dude, Gable, and you know what? I do have a pickiest of nits with this. It actually doesn't even have anything to do with these guys, because again, I stand by it. Like, I had fun with this match. Michael Cole, said, he actually had this line on commentary, that Chad Gable is so fun to watch, he's a technician. The only reason this is the pickiest in it is because Chad Gable's the heel. Why should a heel be fun to watch? Right? I feel like that's a very babyface sentiment. Now, I will say, personally, outside of all of this, I feel like WWE still hasn't gotten Gable's value as a babyface. And it kind of depresses me because I think there's a lot of it. Like, I feel like
Michael Cole has. He just he's convinced the higher ups.
Well, yeah, because like much like Otis and how I wanted Otis to have that one pay-per-view program with Roman. I mean, God, you're doing it with Ray. You really couldn't have done it with Otis when he had the briefcase. But again, I digress. You could have put Gable in there. So is your
nitpick more with Cole saying that out loud, or is it more with Gable still wrestling a fun style?
You know, Ashton, I think you could say a little bit of both, but in this case, just to really be honest, in the context of this segment, I think it was just Cole saying it out loud.
Okay.
Because I think it's a weird thing to say about a heel, right? That they're fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because I'm sitting here thinking like, well, we have a lot of fun watching Roman beat the shit out of people, but we wouldn't say that out loud if we were on commentary.
Exactly. So yeah, I feel like the more reasonable nitpick in this case. Because, maybe Gable, but see, I feel like Matt Wrestling, and I think you've even said, and I feel like other people, actually in the business have said, when you're a technical wrestler, it's harder to get over his face, although Brian's hold my beard. Because they do submissions, and submissions are traditionally more heel finishes and this and that. But I think Cole just saying that it's fun when he's clearly in a heel tag team and they're doing heel stuff, a bit out of place. But again, pickiest of nits.
Fair.
But I like that Cole said it, because again, I think if Gable ever would go back to being a babyface, dude, you put him in there with a guy like Roman as like an underdog, but an underdog that can really, if he takes you to the mat, it's over. Like, I love the idea of that story. So
that just feels like a rehash of Brian, honestly.
Yeah, but look how well that worked out. I mean, even though a lot of people were pissed, I mean, we enjoyed the matches. And I feel like Gable doesn't have the credibility Brian does, so it's almost like, oh my God, again, that underdog factor of like, oh, can he really do this? But anyway, him and Ford did great stuff together. I love, because I know they did this in a 6-man tag one time. He intercepts Ford on a springboard into a Northern Lights that looked fucking beautiful. I love the wrestling at the beginning with the waist locks and the takedowns. I mean, when Gable's really able to work with somebody that can respect what he does in the ring and can make it look good, I think it's magic. The only thing that kind of confused me here about the match was the finish. Because, okay, so you've got Dawkins watching in the back. He's cheering him on. And then Otis lays him out. And, it's like, oh, Alpha Academy, Gable had warned him, Otis is still pissed, kind of thing. And then, Javaris, we'll get to it. And then Gable and Ford are still going at it. Ford hits the From the Heavens frog splash. And to me, I feel like Otis was a bit late on his cue because it looked like Gable kicked out and then Otis started mauling Ford. So it's almost like you inadvertently buried the finish. Am I wrong on that, dude? Did I see it wrong?
You're probably right, yeah.
I feel like Gable actually kicked out and then Otis came in. So there was a bit of a timing issue. So again, I don't want to be that guy that complains about every little thing because it was a fun match. But it did leave me a bit confused because I thought, well, why not just give Ford the win then? Which, I mean, by all counts, they did by disqualification. And then you have Otis lay him out. I will say this, though. Love the beatdown by Alpha Academy after all this because they lay Ford out. Then Dawkins is trying to make the heroic comeback, protecting his boy. He gets laid out. Otis is a monster. And I don't even know if you saw my tweet on Twitter. Hairless Otis, Jesus Christ. I think I even said that, like, he looks... Yeah, I'm looking at the tweet right now. I said, you cannot tell me Otis without the facial hair doesn't look like Majin Buu absorbed a redneck. The fuck?
Yeah, pretty much.
And, like, Cliff actually did a side-by-side photo of Otis and fucking Boo.
I mean, really, the only difference is the nose, right?
yeah, that really is. Look, I'll even... Can I just copy the image in and of itself? Or, like,
you
have
could
it
probably just paste Cliff's tweet in the chat.
Yeah, maybe that would be for the best here.
The link to the tweet.
You guys can look at the side-by-side. I mean, Javaris, I've probably ruined Otis for Javaris, because the moment I said it, he's like, dude. And I'm like, you see it, right? And he's like, you're not even wrong. And yeah, Majin Otis, fucking wrecked face. He dominated everyone. And I love that these are two teams. Neither one of them have the championships, but it kind of feels like a de facto number one contender feud. Like, whoever wins this feud will get the next shot at Rey and Dominic, in case you guys forgot that they're the tag team champions, because now Rey is just off and fighting for the Universal title. And I'm hoping Alpha Academy wins this feud, and honestly, I'm hoping they crush the Mysterios and become tag team champions. Alpha Academy's been fucking great. I think they've been one of the better acts in the undercard this year. And I know you feel the same way, because you've been advocating for them, too. Yep. Living for Javaris right now. But yeah, guys, Majin Otis and Chad Gable fucking wrecking shop. Do you have anything you want to add to this?
Nope.
All right, let us move on. What is our next segment that we are talking about? Nakamura and Corbin. This would have honestly been a nitpick if we didn't get a follow-up segment with Corbin and Pierce, finally getting some forward movement on this thing.
Same, dude, same. I actually really like where they're going with it, though.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, you've had these guys face each other a bunch of times. Have one of them get on a mic and, like, make a formal challenge for the crown or just do something. Nakamura catches Corbin. I will say, looking at the structure of these matches, I like how many times both guys catch each other in, like, deep pins. I guess it's a way to protect the other person, because it's like, oh, I had you packaged all up. There's no way you could get out of that. It was like a Fort Knox-level pin. And that's what Nakamura does to Corbin here, so it kind of protects his credibility, I guess. But then, afterwards, Corbin kind of lays Nakamura out. He gets the jump on Boogs. And it looks like he's got the crown back, but Nakamura's recovered in time to take it back. And that upsets Corbin a lot. And it honestly makes him look kind of ridiculous because, dude, you're bragging about $10,000 watches and you're losing your shit over that crown that doesn't even look that fancy. Like, I am begging you, Ball.
Relax.
Relax. Corbin, it's time to stop. But he's not going to because that's his crown and he wants it. So, after that, we get Roman Reigns and Jay backstage. And Roman is like, all right, I'm ready to go to your locker room. And he's still laughing about it. He still just thinks it's the funniest fucking shit. Then we get Corbin and Pierce. Corbin saying, like, this isn't right. Make it right. And if I heard correctly, they're going to settle this next week, not at Hell in a Cell, right? Is it next week for the crown?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And again, another little pickiest of nits, because I really didn't hate this episode at all. But, like, what alignment is Sonya supposed to be? Because now she's the one saying, the crown does look pretty good with Shinsuke. I feel like, tone-wise, she's pretty inconsistent for me. And
she really is, right? She comes off as heel, like, 75% of the time. And then she says shit like that, which is very blatantly babyface.
And then, dude, let's not forget either, bro, that like a few weeks ago, her and Pierce had that tense little moment where it's like, don't undermine me in front of the superstars or something to that effect. Yeah. And I feel like that hasn't been followed up on at all. Sonya also was the reason Charlotte Flair got her suspension lifted. And I feel like we haven't had really any follow-up with that at all. Nope. So, I again, like, don't put it in front of my face unless you have a coherent plan. And I know that may seem like a big ask, or like, come on, John, what do you expect them to do? But, like, seriously, I was starting to think that Sonya was going to be, like, a major player here because she's in a position of power. I thought she was really going to, like, use that. Like, honestly, dude, at the trajectory she was going at one point, seemed like they were going to go along with her as a heel. I wouldn't have been surprised if, like, she won the women's Money in the Bank. And maybe that's still on the table. I don't know. But, like, she feels directionless, and she's just doing this whole authority thing with Pierce. So that's whatever. But, yeah, just keeping it on topic. Corbin and Nakamura next week for the crown. Then we get the final Bloodline segment of the night. And by that, I just mean Roman with the Usos, because obviously we know what Roman did with Rey, which we'll get to that in a second. How did you feel about this this final meeting with Roman and the Usos, at least for this episode?
It was really... Dude, I think what really caught me off guard here was how passionate Roman got and how fiery Roman got. I did not expect that kind of promo from him, really at all, with his current character, but especially not tonight. But, like, he really turned it up to 11 when he was talking about, I gotta do what's best for this family and all that shit. Like, man, that was crazy.
Yeah. Dude, I feel like he was working Jimmy the way he's been working Jay this whole time. And I love, too, how Roman, like, psychologically, you could see how he picks his spots, right? Because he's got Jimmy worked up to this point, because Jay walks out on them both, the whole thing. And it's like, I'm sick of you, and I'm sick of you, I'm done with this, and he leaves. So I'll be interested to see how they pick that up at the Smackdown Go-Home show, given that Roman had to handle Rey and Dominic, which he did by himself to end the show. And then Jimmy's like, you know what, I'm sick of this too, you want to fight me, let's box it out. And then Roman just makes this face, like he hasn't contributed to the mess at all. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I'm sitting here and I'm like, no, you're really not about to do this. And he does. He does.
You sound so proud.
Dude, I want to be perfectly clear about my emotion. That's not untrue, but the real emotion I'm feeling is just gobsmacked. Like, it's breathtakingly stunning that this motherfucker just has the audacity to turn everything around, but he succeeds. That's the thing. He succeeds. Because he takes Jimmy so ready to fight, is like his back door to be like, you really don't understand, do you? This is all about the family. This is all about all three of us being the best every night. And, like, he really does start using that more inclusive language. And you could see Jimmy's expression change the longer Roman talks. And he's like, oh, man, I really did mess this up. I didn't see things that way. I'm sorry. I'm like, no! No, like in all seriousness, in all fucking seriousness, Roman is brilliant, okay? No denying that. But I'm just sitting here and I'm like, no! No, don't apologize to him. This really is the dynamic of, like, I punch my significant other in the face. Now apologize. Apologize for my fist meeting your face. I'm sorry. Good. Don't do it again. It's like, what? No, you did the thing. That was you punching face. What? And it's the same thing here. Like, Roman has been trying to monopolize Jay. He's been uncomfortable with Jimmy because, remember, Jimmy will not acknowledge him. And he doesn't stand for that here. And he's telling Jimmy, like, you gotta fix this. Like, how could you do this to your brother? How could you do this? And it's like, bro, I'm not the one that choked him out on 2 pay-per-views with a guillotine. So, amazing. Just really incredible how Roman just can turn everything in his favor. I love that he plays such a different chicken shit kind of heel. Because there came a point in time where you and I hated that kind of heel, but I think Roman has brought its veneer back just by the way that he does it. Because it's not necessarily that he flees every fight, but he's always going to try and fortify against every threat by making sure he's got all of his ducks in a row. And now, I think Roman probably feels like for the first time, he's made serious traction in getting Jimmy on his side. And it's just amazing, honestly. It's amazing. It's so good. So, after that, we get Rey Mysterio calling out Roman.
Yeah, dude, I was just gonna say, we go from one amazing Roman performance to another in completely different ways.
Yeah, and Rey, I just got, like, he was so rude here. Because, you know, he calls out Roman, you know, the whole sub story. He calls him a rat bastard as if that's like a gasp-worthy insult. I acknowledge you as a rat bastard. And I'm like, dude.
Do you remember when he called Johnny Mundo a son of a bitch and it sounded like he meant it in Lucha Underground and we actually thought it was kind of cool?
Yeah, exactly.
Boy, were those the days.
This Rey is a fucking dork. God damn, get better role models.
You're a rat bastard. Oh my God, Raymond, Mr. Mysterio, that language is unacceptable here.
You're being a real wiener, Oscar.
An Oscar Mayer wiener?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Dominic's like, yeah, tell him, Dad, yeah, oh God, no, my back.
Oh boy, we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about it. I'll give the ball to you on that one, because it's nice when you revel in the suffering of others for a change. Then Roman comes out, and he's like, I acknowledge you as a father. And then I feel like Roman couldn't even finish the thought.
No,
like,
dude, as soon as he said, I acknowledge you as a father, Ray was like, fuck you, I don't need your acknowledgement, bitch. And he went after him with the kendo stick.
Yeah, and he's lighting Roman up, and, like, honestly, dude, I was getting ready to, like, audibly groan, because I'm like, oh, is this going to be a thing where Ray gets a little bit of offense, then Roman gets offense back, and then Ray 619s him, sends him out of the ring? You know, the whole, like, Rey Mysterio fucking shtick that I feel like we've been seeing for years. Nope. Roman shut that shit down. He's like, we don't do that here. we don't do that here. Because he's getting ready to spear Ray, and then Dominic hits him with a kendo stick, which... God, you know, I was ready to complain about this too. Like, they are lucky they've got Roman Reigns doing these segments. I don't know how much creative input he has. Because if the Mysterios would have stood tall, I'll tell you, dude, right now, one of my heat of the nights would have been, so you complained about a beatdown that really did nothing to Dominic because he's here. Like, you know, they had him on TV,
yeah, that's
right?
True. Good point, yeah.
And that would have really pissed me off because they made the whole emotional play, like, Dominic's hurt and I didn't protect him. Well, he's fucking here!
Yeah,
so, like,
he's literally here helping you to try and beat down the guy that beat him up last week. What's the point?
So I gotta be honest, bro, like, I was starting to get, like, really pissed. I'm like, this is exactly why I didn't want this fucking match, and fuck the Mysterios. Like, the Mysterios are starting to get, for me, now granted, they're not nearly as bad because they haven't been around as long, but, you know, everybody always complains about the Hart family and stuff like that. Like, the Mysterios are starting to have a similar effect on me where I'm just like, fuck this family. Like, I don't want to see them on TV, you know, whatever the fuck. And then Roman's like, oh my child, you lost faith in your tribal chief.
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. This main event segment made me, I should say, want a handicap match in the cell.
Dude, yes. Brutalize them both.
Yes.
At the same
Roman
time.
versus both of the tag team champions right now, and he just fucking kills them.
And then once he's buried them as tag champions, then the Usos can swoop in, actually win them, and we get a unified, solidified bloodline.
Dude, it all ties together. Holy shit.
Dude, seeing Dominic get abused, seeing Dominic learn his place in real time, while he just finally learned how many discs he exactly has in his back because each one got fucked, felt so good. Oh my God. Look, guys, a full stop. I'm a horrible person. I know it. I'm waiting for a therapist for a fucking year, but you know what's getting me through it? Seeing other people be horrible. And Roman ruined a family tonight. And it was beautiful.
Do you know what it feels like to have the wind blown out of you? Like, get the air knocked out of you?
Oh, dude, yes. Actually, yes.
Yeah. So does Dominic now.
Yeah. Congratulations on being able to relate to me, bitch. Oh, my God. I feel myself turning up the more I talk about this. This was incredible. I was ready, guys. Seriously. I was ready to rage about this segment. Because I'm like, Ray's a fucking pathetic contender. And he totally undercut Roman's beatdown with Dominic by having him come back with the kendo stick. Because I thought they were going to do the triumphant bullshit. Oh, 619, could that happen in Hell in a Cell? Da, da, da. But Roman's like, again, no, we don't do that here. This fucking old ass? Nah,
dude,
fuck you, honestly, and fuck your kid.
The funniest part was definitely the power bomb. But the next funniest part to me was when Roman was leaving, getting ready to go up the ramp, and Ray comes out to try and tend to Dominic, and Roman just fucking boots him in the face.
I know I've always said this about Cole, but I'll be honest, I do it 95% of the time for the memes. I am 100% unironic here when I say that Roman was in the right. Yeah. Roman was in the right. No. You started shit. You couldn't finish. You're going to fucking learn how the world works. Okay?
Roman straight up had this energy of like, oh, that's cute that you think you're the protagonist here.
You once said to me when we were playing Brawlhalla, because you and I goof around a lot, that you find it concerning how positively I respond to, like, toxic energy. I responded very positively to Roman asserting dominance.
Dude, it really was, though. Like, when Ray called Roman a rat bastard, Roman really did get that look on his face like, oh boy, here's another NPC coming to try and end my run.
Bro, I want to give perspective to everybody, and I'm going to talk some real shit here. This part isn't a joke. Alex Foster is one of the sweetest people I've ever fucking known. Like a really nice, genuine fucking dude. I love this dude. Can't find a more loving, sincere, authentic person. Fucking adore him. And even he... I'm gonna quote this because this is worth quoting directly. Ray is one of my all-time faves. He and Dom deserved worse than this. Dom got yeeted into another timeline. And even Foster, who again, I imagine wouldn't hurt a fucking fly, would open a window so the fly could come out safely and live. Even he's like, nah, Roman, go harder. Like, holy fucking shit. You guys are fucked. You guys are fucked. I can't top that. I can't top that. When the nicest person, one of the nicest people I have ever known says that about you, fuck you, man. Like, what do you even say to that? Holy shit. Roman killed him. It was beautiful. I am living for this heel run. And you know what, guys? This sold me. If we got to get through this, to get back to the compelling stuff of Money in the Bank, and SummerSlam, I gotta be honest too, retroactively, this gets me more hype for SummerSlam, because anybody that's part of the Discord, which is only $3 a month for those that aren't in the Discord, I even said, like, I wasn't feeling the rumored match of Roman and Cena, because I like Cena, but again, it's another matchup where it's like, I'm not doubting that Roman's walking out with that title. Here, though, if Roman keeps delivering performances like this, I don't give a fuck. Hell, bring fucking racist Hogan back for one more match just so we could get the fucking shit beat out of him by Reigns in front of everybody. Powerbomb him out of the ring like you did Dominic and permanently wreck that fucking back. I don't give a shit. Line them all up for Roman if this is the kind of stuff we're gonna get. I love this.
Dude, if Hulk Hogan took the bump that Dominic Mysterio took tonight, he wouldn't give a fucking that would kill him. That would be the end. He wouldn't, not only would he not get up, he wouldn't breathe anymore. He just dead.
And then Roman could be like, I guess I killed Hulkamania. Literally. And then you just got to black. Oh, God. Oh, God. That'd be so really good. I want
him to say you're welcome.
Oh, God, I'm going to transform. But no, keep it together. I'm keeping it together. But no, Roman is on top of the fucking world. He's on top of the fucking world, and that's where he belongs. And you know, if a heel's so good that I can even endure him doing shitty fucking feuds, just because he brings the value to them. Yeah, like we're cool. So yeah, Dom, don't come back too soon. It's okay. So after this next segment, because SmackDown ended, so let's get on to our next segment for our show. High spots, low shots. Fucking low shots easy. Dominic Mysterio. He thought he was gonna...
Imagine you get beat down, and then the next week you try and prevent your dad from getting beat down, and you just get bodied all over again.
Yeah. Dude, imagine being so weak that your father, who's significantly older than you, and you've got to take the reins.
And smaller. Let's not forget smaller.
And smaller than you. Thank you for bringing that up. It just has to protect you from yourself because you are way too ambitious. Let me fight him, Dad. Oh, God. So yeah, Dominic Mysterio, definite low shot. I'm transforming thinking about the agony he was in, and I'm probably going to continue to do so for some time. Who's your low shot? Do you want to just share? Please let's share. Let's just body him together.
Just share, yeah. Because I was honestly considering maybe I want to give it to Carmella, or maybe I wanted to give it to like. Well, no, actually, I was going to give it to Bayley, but I like Bayley too much, and I feel like Carmella, like, she shouldn't have beaten Liv last week to begin with, so this was more her getting just desserts than her just having a really bad night, and she still got, like, the one-up with Greg announcing her name afterwards, so we're just going to share. It's Dominic. He's just had an awful night.
Yeah, he did. And, dude, what I like about this Smackdown is I do think there's a wider selection of high spots, so I'm just going to go with my high spot, Cesaro.
I knew you were going to say Cesaro!
He looked like a fucking star tonight. I am so happy for him that he's having this current run. He's put his time in. He deserves it. I still hope he can get back in the world title picture this year. I think my hopes of him and Roman running it back at SummerSlam have been kind of dashed, because I really do think with crowds and everything, they want to make SummerSlam a huge show. Yeah. But that doesn't necessarily equate to Cesaro maybe not winning Money in the Bank next month. We'll have to see how Hell in a Cell goes.
Oh,
but
boy.
He had a great segment tonight, and we got to focus on the present. He looked like a fucking star tonight. Took out Seth Rollins. Looked like a king doing it. And, Cesaro's my high spot.
You went with a personal fave, so I'm going to do the same thing. Liv Morgan.
No, I love it, dude.
Dude,
I love it.
When was the last time she won a match in general?
Oh, God. Too long is the correct answer to that question, friend. Too long.
Yeah, definitely feels that way, for sure.
All right. Well, your face has picked a high spot. My face has picked a high spot. That rounds out this segment, which means we can put this TWitWoW in the books. So this has been Friday Night Smackdown. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my co-owner and commentary. Guys, be sure to like the videos you file out. The more likes you leave, the more likely we are to be the top search result for SmackDown reviews on YouTube. And when you're the best at what you do, the top is the only place that you belong. So please leave that like. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon so you never again miss any of that TWitWoW goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box. I, of course, like to highlight the Patreon. We do Patreon requests. You can check out the link below and see how that all breaks down. I know we're going to be doing a Patreon request this month for Mark Schoeneman. He wants us to do Backlash 2004. Should be an interesting show. Of course, the two things I always like to highlight on the Patreon: additional Q&A questions for $1. We do Q&A the last Thursday of every month. This month it's going to be June 24th is Q&A. Non-Patreon donors only get 3 Q&A questions, but if you donate to the Patreon, again, $1, you get 2 additional Q&A questions for a total of 5. You can submit Q&A questions through YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Discord. Access to the TWitWoW Discord, again, I know I mentioned it earlier in the show, is $3. We talk wrestling, we talk pretty much everything in the Discord, and we do Among Us Mondays. That's always a lot of fun. And yeah, I think it's a great community of people, and that only costs $3, and of course you get the Q&A questions with that. So I would consider making that donation if you can. We'd greatly appreciate it. Again, follow us both on Twitter. I'm at John_TWitWoW. My pinned tweet is to collect your Q&A questions. It's pretty much a hub for it. You can just go right there, submit your questions. Again, if you're a non-Patreon donor, 3. If you have donated the $1, you get up to 5. Ashton's pinned tweet, on the other hand, is the TWitWoW schedule for the month. Now, obviously, we are in the month of June, so let's take a quick look at that, shall we? Today was June 11th. We just got done our SmackDown review, so this weekend is all about NXT TakeOver in your house. Quick reminder, guys, that at 9 p.m. tomorrow, we are going to be previewing and predicting this TakeOver. And then Sunday, June 13th at 7, we'll be live reacting to NXT TakeOver in your house. Then Monday, we've got nothing, but of course, Discord members, remember to join us for Among Us Mondays. And then Tuesday, we've got Stardom, Tokyo Dream. Actually, no, we already did that. We actually did our preview predictions for Tokyo Dream Cinderella today at the end of the Stardom show that we live reacted to, the road to Tokyo Dream Cinderella. So check out the end of that video if you just want our preview and predictions. So that is off the schedule. So what I just have here is our NXT review at 10. And
if the Stardom show, if Tokyo Dream Cinderella is up on Tuesday, we're doing it then.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll be doing that at 4, guys, because Tokyo Dream Cinderella always goes a bit longer. If not, then, though, we have that penciled in for Wednesday at 4. So, again, most immediately, this weekend is all about TakeOver in your house. We hope you invite us into your house for the best live reactions you'll get to TakeOver here at TWitWoW. Preview predictions tomorrow at 9, live reactions Sunday at 7. We hope to see you there. Until then, guys, keep being good to yourselves and to each other. And until we see each other again, tune in. Peace out.